Washington Post and New York Times that the FBI has been conducting surveillance of mainstream protest groups concerned about animal rights and the environment. The FBI says it is merely trying to find information about violent extremists who have caused property damage. But the story has ignited a huge debate about how far our government should go.
Today, FBI documents first given to the New York Times and Washington Post and now on the American Civil Liberties Union website show PETA is under FBI investigation. The documents offer no proof the group is a subversive threat or has been involved in any illegal activities, but the files show federal agents have been tracking PETA for years.
Agents wrote, PETA is suspected of providing material support and resources to known domestic terrorist organizations such as the Animal Liberation Front.
I think certainly the FBI should know the difference between a terrorist and somebody handing out a vegetarian starter kit or somebody protesting naked in a cage on a sidewalk. I think that's just a ruse, and it needs to stop. They are targeting people because of the content of their speech and their conduct in opposing these billion-dollar industries that make profits off of exploiting animals. We're a threat to anybody and everybody that exploits animals.
Do you really believe that the FBI draws a complete distinction between PETA as an organization and an entirely separate organization of ALF? It seems like they think there's a common thread that not only do you support them, but there's belief that you're a front for some of these more radical organizations.
Of course, it's absurd. And there's no connection. There's no there. Like I said, you know, we've gone through this for the better part of 2 decades. PETA's gone through 2 IRS audits. The most recent one just concluded in May of 2005, and we've been given a clean bill of health. PETA's an entirely lawful organization, and again, it's just time for this kind of thing to stop. There is no connection, period.
Anyone who says they're with the ALF or working for the ALF, they're either stupid or they're lying, because everything the ALF does, by definition, is illegal.
The ALF has launched a number of activities, burning houses down, trashing labs, stealing animals, destroying instruments. I did get a phone call in 2 o'clock in the morning stating that they knew that I walked to work every day and that they knew that I left at a certain time and that I took the same route every day. It was pretty upsetting for the family to have me threatened that way.
The ALF broke into the University of Pennsylvania, and within hours, the videotape was in the hands of PETA. So there's some close networking there, evidently. Ingrid Newkirk was implicated in various ALF activities. She was never convicted, but she was a person of interest. Ingrid has gone on record saying she does not condemn the actions of the ALF, and if she had more guts, she would light a match herself. If they aren't involved in the activity, they sure are very vocal cheerleaders.
I really applaud the Animal Liberation Front every time it has gone into a laboratory and brought animals out. I would to this day cheer if anybody destroyed some place in which animals were being hurt and tormented.
What the FBI always said was PETA by day, ALF by night. Where there's smoke, there's fire. But you'd be a fool to go around admitting you've done something illegal.
I've probably known people in the ALF. If I know people in the ALF, I'd never say. The last thing I'd want is for them to be caught. More power to them. But that doesn't mean that PETA does what the ALF does. In fact, PETA doesn't. PETA has chosen a much different way to go. But far be it from me to criticize anything they're doing. I have more than my work cut out for me to criticize what people are doing to animals, which is far greater a crime than any crime that the ALF may commit.
We can never win these battles by harassing an individual or threatening harm. Never. That retards our progress. It's tactically idiotic because it hands a strategic opportunity to our opponents. We're demanding ethical consistency in the way that people live their lives, and then if we're not pursuing that in our own tactics, how does that get reconciled? Once you move into the domain of intimidation or illegal conduct beyond civil disobedience, you're going into a dangerous pile of quicksand. But PETA says it doesn't do that, and
I understand.
yeah.
I understand. It's just, but they don't condemn.
Yeah.
They don't condemn that.
Yeah, and they should.
Well, it might have started with only a typewriter and a phone, but 25 years later, it is known as one of the most controversial animal rights groups on the planet. From going head-to-head with some of the biggest celebrities to staging contentious demonstrations, one thing is clear, PETA's never backed down in its 25 years.
Can I get a few words for a vegan radio show that I do? Well, we're here at the PETA, Gateway 25.
Yes, we are.
We're coming right off the red carpet here. And why do you support PETA?
Because I love animals.
Which one are you?
Bruce is very, very excited. Your KFC video is just the #1 watched video.
They just met on the other side over there.
Oh, good. Yeah. Is it all okay?
Pardon me? We're all set. We're starting.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, everyone, here we go.
When I was asked to co-host this evening, I said yes under one condition, that I be allowed to say a few words about a remarkable woman I've come to know and admire. Because let's face it, without Ingrid, none of us would be here this evening. To her staff of 300, Ingrid is an inspiration. To the animals, she is their voice, their liberator, their hope. Ingrid, for us, and on behalf of all animals who have been saved, and all the animals who, thanks to PETA, will never know an abusive hand, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Ingrid Newkirk.
Thank you very much. That was most unexpected. And as I will say, it is undeserved because I could do nothing without all of you. And that's the God's honest truth. For animals in laboratories and slaughterhouses, every day is a tragedy. They have nothing but their skins and their lives. And yet there are people who want to take even those from them. PETA's job is to be their fearless defender. And because so many of you care, we can be that. But it's still a pittance. One day we will all have to look back on our lives and take account of what we've done. I ask you to join me in taking a vow tonight that you will join us at PETA in doing more than you have ever done before, just to bring animals a little joy and to move heaven and earth to stop their suffering. Thank you so much. Good night.
I like this, Jay, following this truck. Those animals are just crammed so tightly in those cages. Look at them panting. And this is in June when it was cooler.
What are we seeing now?
And these workers...
Just the floor covered with their feathers and...
this shackling process.